Now we are going to see the pitot tube under variable head flow meters. And these are the contents for the variable head flow meters. In particular, we are going to see the pitot tube. The different types of pitot tube are combined pitot tube and averaging pitot tube. So the pitot tube was invented by Henry Pitot and Henry Darcy. It is also called as pitot type, and it is a flow measurement device used to measure the fluid flow velocity. So usually it is an abstraction in the primary element used mainly for the fluid velocity measurement is the pitot tube. It is one of the very simplest flow sensors and widely used in a range of flow measurement applications. The main application is aircraft application, which is going to use to measure the airspeed. Then coming to the industrial applications, pitot tubes are used to measure like airflow in pipes, duct, stack and fluid flow in pipes and open channels. It has got a very good accuracy and rangeability is relatively slow, but the pitot tubes are simple, reliable, inexpensive and suited for a variety of environmental conditions. It can accommodate very high temperature and a very wide range of pressures. Then this is the basic pitot tube static diagram, and it is an inexpensive alternative to an orifice plate. The accuracy of the pitot tube is varying from 0.5 to 5% in full scale, which is comparable to an orifice, and its flow rangeability is 3:1 when comparing to the capability of the orifice plate. The main difference between the orifice plate and the pitot tube is the orifice is going to measure the full flow stream, but the pitot tube detects a flow velocity at only at a particular point in a flow stream. And the advantage of the slender pitot tube is it can be easily inserted into the existing pressurized pipeline, also called as hot tapping, without requiring a shutdown. That is a major advantage of the pitot tube. Then coming to the sample layout of the pitot tube, it consists of a point where the static pressure holes are measured and connected with a stainless steel tubing, and there is 2 points. One is the pressure P and another is the pressure PT. It is P is a static pressure and P is adapted to a particular temperature. And this is a connection diagram for a static pressure measurement. Then coming to the principle, basic principle, all the flowing principle, that is when a solid body is held centrally and stationary in a pipeline with the fluid streaming down, due to the presence of the body, the fluid approaching the object starts losing its velocity till in front of the body and where the velocity is zero. This point is known as a stagnation point. As the kinetic head is lost by the fluid, it gains a static head. So by measuring the difference between the difference of pressure between the normal flow line and at the stagnation point, the velocity is found out. So this principle is used in the pitot tube sensors. Basically, a differential pressure flow meter. The pitot static tube measures the two pressure. One is the static and the total impact pressure. Static pressure is operating pressure in the pipe, duct or the environment upstream to the pitot tube. It is measured at right angles to the flow direction, and the pitot tubes are highly recommended for a high turbulent flows whose Reynolds number is greater than 2000. And at this condition, the velocity profiles tend to be flat enough so that the insertion depth is not critical. Then this is the basic principal diagram for pitot tube. We can see the initial velocity on P1 at one end, and we can see the stagnation point where we can measure the corresponding pressure P2, and the total velocity is almost zero. That is at the stagnation point. At the tip of the stagnation point, there will not be any velocity, and which going to measure the stagnation pressure. Then coming to the construction of the pitot tube, the figure shows a normal industrial type pitot tube. At one end, you can measure the airflow, that is the airflow is coming, and the second end, the impact pressure port is there, and there is a static pressure port is there. So the fluid flow velocity at the upstream phase of the probe is reduced substantially to zero, and the velocity head is converted into impact pressure, and it's sensed to a small hole in the upstream phase of the probe. A corresponding small hole in the side of the probe senses the static pressure, which denotes the static pressure port. A pressure instrument measures a difference which is proportional to the square of the stream velocity in the vicinity of the impact pressure in the sensing hole. The velocity equation of the pressure pitot tube is given by the following equation. Then coming to the construction, the pitot tube practically has no pressure losses in the flow stream. So it is normally installed through a nipple in the side of the pipe. It is installed as an isolation wave, so it can be moved back and forth across the stream to establish the corresponding profile of the flow velocity. Then the pitot tubes are generally used only in the low to medium flow pipe gas applications where higher accuracy is not introduced. And coming to the theory of operation, the pitot tube is going to measure the two pressures. We very well know one is the static pressure and another is the total impact pressure, where total impact pressure is the sum of the static and dynamic pressure, and it is detected as the flowing stream impact on the pitot opening. To measure the impact pressure, pitot tubes use a small, sometimes L adapted tube with the opening directly facing the oncoming flow stream. The velocity of point of approach can be calculated using the below equation. When the flow rate is obtained by multiplying the velocity, the cross-sectional area of the pipe is critical that the velocity be made at the insertion depth that corresponds to your average velocity. As the flow velocity increases, the velocity profile in the pipe changes from an elongated laminar, that is the fashion, to the more flat turbulent flow. The change in velocity profile changes the point of average velocity, which requires an adjustment of the engine depth. Then continuing the static pressure measurement, the impact pressure port faces forward into the flow, whereas the static ports do not face forward into the flow, instead spaced around the outer tube. Both the pressure signals PT and P are routed by tubing to a differential indicator, and we can find the differential pressure between the two. And there are various ways to measure the static pressure. Those are one through taps in the fitting the taps in the pipe wall, and second by the static probes inserted into the process stream, and third by small opening located on the pitot tube or on a separate aerodynamic element. The aerodynamic bodies can be cylinders or wedges with two or more sensing ports. The key to accurate static pressure detection is to minimize the kinetic component in the pressure measurement. And coming to the types of pitot tube, there are two types of pitot tube. One is the combined pitot tube and the averaging pitot tube. The combined pitot tube is generally not used that much. So we are concentrating on the average pitot tube. It is otherwise called as ANUBAR. So obtain a better average value of the flow, special two chamfer flow tubes with several pressure openings distributed across a stream are available as shown in the figure. These annular averaging elements are called as anubars. They consist of a tube with high and low pressure holes with fixed separations. When the averaging pitot tube have been introduced, the problem of finding the average velocity point, the pressure detected by all impact pressure port are combined with the square root of the difference between the impact and the static pressure, which is nothing but the average flow in the pipe. The port closest to the outer of the combined signal has a greater influence when compared with the farthest away. So, however, for secondary applications, the pitot tube is commonly used. And this shows the averaging pitot tubing diagram. We can see the two port. One is the high pressure port and another is the low pressure port. In the high pressure port, we can measure the average high pressure and average low pressure. So we can see the low pressure profile and high pressure profile, that is pH and PL. So finding the difference between the different pressure profiles, and we can find the average value of both the things. We can find the average flow rate. So the diameter of the averaging pitot tube or all attributes that can be modified to meet the needs of a particular applications, which is those specifications are derived from the industry end. And second one, the sensing port and the averaging pitot tube are often too large to allow the tube to behave as a true averaging chamber because of the oversized port. So that may not be optimized for averaging. So in some installations, there may be some adjustments with the industrial standard. And averaging pitot tubes offer the same advantages and disadvantages as do in the single port tubes, but they are more expensive and a little more accurate, especially if the flow is fully formed. And the Anubor flow produces a differential pressure signal, which is the algebraic difference between the average value of the high pressure signals, as we have already discussed, which is pH, and the low pressure signal, which is PL. Continuing the average pitot tube, it is high profile is induced by the impact of the flow velocity on the upstream side of the sensing tube. Inside the high pressure chamber, an averaging high pressure signal is obtained by correctly placing the sensing ports in the tube. The pressure profile is sensed by also by the downstream port directly behind the high pressure port. And then another type of averaging pitot tube. It is called as the area averaging pitot tube. It is used to measure large flows of low pressure air in boilers, dryers, or HVAC systems. These units are available for various standard sizes of circular or rectangular duct. They are so designed that each segment of the cross section is provided with both impact and the static pressure port, which is going to be an important parameter in measuring the static and impact pressure points. And next is area averaging pitot tube have generally very small pressure differentials. So we need to have a low differential pressure transmitters with a span of as low as 0.00 to 0.01 in water. To improve the accuracy, a hexagonal cell type flow straightener and a flow nozzle can be installed upstream of the area of the averaging pitot flow sensor. Then this is the diagram for the area averaging pitot tube, which you have explained just now. And there are various advantages and disadvantages of the pitot tube. So coming to the major advantage, it has no pressure loss, and the construction is very simple, and it is readily adapted for flow measurements made in the large pipe or duct. The disadvantages, as the rate is very low, it has some poor accuracy, and most important disadvantages is not suitable for dirty or sticky fluids and fluids containing the solid particles. It is very sensitive to the upstream disturbances. Thank you. Thanks for watching.